Hey guys, this is Venom coming at you with a build video today. Today we're going to be discussing the heavy attack sword. We'll start with the gear. Lightning staff of the sergeant. Sharpened trait. I have a weapon damage glyph on this. The reason why I like a weapon damage glyph for in-game content, if you have like say a flame glyph or a shock glyph, whatever, it's going to proc on one ad, it's single target, and you will get better single target DPS usually out of that. Most of the stuff you're going to be fighting is going to be probably groups of stuff, even trials, whatever it is you run, you're probably going to be fighting more than one target. I find the weapon damage glyph better for me because it's going to give all of my AoE stuff a damage boost rather than just a glyph hitting one target. So I like that. For the head is a light, one piece, slime crawl, divines, magic enchant. Chest is the heavy sergeant's. Shoulders, I like infallible aether for my other set. There is a whole bunch of other heavy attack sets that you can run. Yes, I know people are really up on Stormmaster, and Stormmaster is better in some regards depending on what you're doing. So if you're attacking a 21 mil, target skeleton here, you're going to get higher DPS with it because the set doesn't have any of the buffs built into the set. It's just raw damage, which stacks. But like, some of these sets here, like your Slayer and stuff like that, and all that stuff, it's kind of built into, the 21 mil. If you're in a trial setting, even in a really good group, rarely if ever are you 100% fully optimized. It's hard. You're going to lose a lot of penetration, crit, and stuff when you switch over to that heavy set. So for me, again, I like Infal as my set, and this is one of these sets too that you don't have to jump through hoops to make it work. You don't have to cast a stamina skill to make it work. You don't have to be in melee range to make it work. It just works. Some people are kind of confused about the tooltip. It's 900 damage. People will be like, it's not indicative. It doesn't say that 900 is no. It goes across the channel. Every tick, it gets applied. It used to be 4 ticks. Now it's down to 3. But once you factor that into plus your CP, the numbers, they go up really high. So this, increases your attacks. They go up by 900. Enemies with fully charged are affected with minor vulnerability for 10 seconds, increasing the damage 5%. So you get the minor vulnerability in the group, which is good. So, the sash, the hands, the legs, the feet. The jewelry is, of course, Sergeant. I got Bloodthirsty on it. Weapon damage glyphs. Oaken Soul, of course. Bloodthirsty, weapon damage. And that's it. Just Infal, Sergeants with a 1-piece slime crawl. Sharpened staff, weapon damage for it. And we'll talk about the skills. I run Crystal Weapon. This is to put Minor Prophecy in the group, a dark magic, skill. You can also basically squeeze in an extra attack with Crystal Weapon because it technically fires twice. So as you're doing your channel attack, activate it. And then after you activate it, I'm going to throw my unstable wall. But as it comes back to the next attack, my next heavy, it fires the second part of this attack and it goes again, and then I'm back over to my wall. So between my heavy attacks, I'm just weaving these 2 skills. Yes, I know it's only 2 skills, wow, but it's highly effective. It's really all you need. So I have the Unstable Wall of Storms. The cool thing about this, most people know this, some people don't, but when you cast it, if you recast it, it detonates early. It says when the effect ends, the barrier explodes, dealing shock damage. Well, when you redo your skill, it explodes. So you can use this as an AoE spammable. It's not the greatest single target spammable, but that's why we're going to weave this skill firing twice and then this skill going off. You can, if you want to, change out, your blockade. There's a whole bunch of things you can run. If you're trying to go really single target and push a really high score, 21 mil, or you just want to nuke a boss, you can go with the full-on Haunting Curse, Pet Build, Atro, Scamp, Twilight, the whole 9 yards, and that will give you your highest single target damage for your sword. But for general play, this is what this build is, mostly in 4-man content. So again, if you're in a trial setting and that group is really optimized, and I mean really, then yeah, sure, Storm Masters would be good for your other set. But for the most part, we're talking 4-man content, normal groups, infoul with sergeants is best. And I think, your unstable wall is going to serve you better as well. You can, in certain situations, if you run into, maybe you need a ranged interrupt, you can just slot Crushing Shock. That is an excellent spammable. So these two are interchangeable is what I'm trying to say. For the next skill, I run Critical Surge. Not for the major sorcery, because you already have that built into your Oaken Soul. This is strictly just for the 3,630 health every second whenever you're dealing critical damage. This will sustain you for the most part. Now, you say, well, that's a loss of DPS having that heal on. Not really. I'll explain why. The duration lasts 33 seconds. So anytime that you have to cast a skill that is not a damage skill, that is a loss of damage. So if I have to hit my Twilight to heal myself, instead of doing my weave between, my skills with my heavies and stuff, then I'm going to lose damage. You end up losing DPS because of it. Because this lasts 33 seconds, that allows you to self-sustain. You're getting your heal constantly coming back in, meaning you don't have to stop pumping damage. You can just keep going. So actually having this on, having this heal over time coming in, plus what I'll show you here in a minute in your champion tree, the Sorc is just he's hard to kill, okay? The next skill is Elemental Susceptibility. This is going to apply your Major Breach. Depending on your group that you're in, if you're in a trial or someone, is already running the Major Breach, by all means, swap this skill out. You don't have to. I run it because of the groups I'm in. A lot of times we go into dungeons and we're just 4 DPS in it. We don't even have a tank or nothing like that. But I'll run this skill most of the time. This is going to give your Major Breach 30 seconds, reduce the physical and spell resistance 5948. Every 7.5 seconds, it hits them with Burning, Chilled, and Concussion. So that actually does give you some damage as well. So it's not bad just to use in that regard, but there's some things you can, if you're trying to min-max your damage and you already have this buff, by all means, swap it out. There's a bunch of things you can put on if you want to. You could add the Scamp if you want to torment people in your group with it, sure. Bound Aegis, you could put that on as well. Lightning Flood is a good choice. If you need some kind of utility function, whatever, you could always put on Streak. Obviously, you could rotate Crushing in there, whatever you like. It's kind of flexible. The Twilight Matriarch. Some people, they like the Tormentor for the extra damage. I like to use the Matriarch. Yes, it deals a little bit of damage, but just having the ability to heal your team and heal, just yourself if you need that emergency heal. The cool thing about the Twilight is it has a really big area, and as long as you watch like your teammates' health bars just kind of in the corner of your screen, as long as it's a bright color red, they're within range. It's not a cone attack, it's an AoE area. So it don't matter if you got your back turned to them or anything, just one touch of a button, it's going to heal itself plus 2 targets. Excellent heal. For the ultimate, Destro, Thunderous Rage, this is probably your highest burst ultimate area of effect, you know, that there is. If somebody in the group is not running an Atro, the Atro is an excellent choice to have on as well. This current morph here is, okay, so I like to run the other one for the most part for AoEs, the other morph, which is the charged Atro. And it goes off every like 2 seconds, or it does shock damage to enemies for 3 seconds. This one here zaps every 1 second. The other one does an AoE. But the cool thing is, you know, your teammates, they can synergize this. It's going to give major berserk to your group of like 4 people now. It works on 4 people. Next update, they're going to change it. It's going to work on 12 people. So the Atro's great to have. It's an increase of 10% damage to your group. So if somebody in your group is not running the Atro and you're on a Sorc, add this to your group. If you need the AoE, and like I said, it's just the other morph of this. It's called the charged Atro. Just have that morph on, and make sure that they grab the synergies. So that's it for the skills. We'll hop into, I guess, the food here. I run just blue food, just max health, max magicka. The values are glitched out. It showed them a minute ago, but yeah, it's just the blue health and magicka food. All right, for the Mundus Stone is the thief. Champion points. Start here in the blue tree. Fighting finesse. These are your slottables. Weapons expert, deadly aim, and wrathful strikes. Now I want to say about the deadly aim. There's times that I will switch deadly aim and change out for master at arms. In my testing, I get higher DPS with master at arms than I do deadly aim. But why do I have deadly aim slotted? This is going to work more based on your heavy attacks. So like when you're parsing, I will get a higher damage parsing wise with master at arms because everything's going to stay in, like say my wall, it's going to be exploding, and I will come out with slightly more with it than I will deadly aim. But in actual content, when stuff likes to move around a lot, they're not always in that explosion. You're not always, so you end up losing out because of that. So I think for actual in-game, deadly aim is better. If you're trying to do your parses and all that stuff, master arms is slightly better. But yeah, these are your 4 for in-game. The red tree, strategic reserve. All right, you gain 30 health recovery for every 10 ultimate you have. This in combination with your crit surge, your health is going to be staying pretty full. So like the more ultimate you have, the more health recovery that's going to be coming in. Very, very good to have. Slippery. This will automatically break you free every 21 seconds. Excellent to have unless you're doing skill color peak. If you're in that, you want to change this because you have to get froze, you know. So just swap that out for something else. Fortified is going to give you your armor and balanced vitality, some extra health. Green tree, just run-of-the-mill stuff, treasure hunter, rationer, meticulous disassembly, and Sneed's blessing. What I was talking about a minute ago regarding the skill, your rotation with the crystal weapon in the wall. So like when you start to do your attacks, right? So you're heavy, you're going to hit crystal weapon, it'll fire. I messed up. So yeah, so you hit your crystal weapon, it'll fire, do your wall, make it explode, then you're right back into your crystal weapon, and then back to your wall, and you just alternate between the two. You see how it's just saying 5 seconds, it's counting down, then my wall, then it's fired twice. So you're getting your crystal weapon to fire 2 times. You just hit it once, and then as you go back into your second heavy attack, it's going to be hitting it again. So that's it. I hope you all enjoy the video. If you do, like, follow, and subscribe. We'll get back to you with another one. Later.